Alright, so my plans have been thwarted. I originally wanted to make a video on a character and showcase them, but instead we have this major document, the dev diary finding a middle ground, and I want to talk about it, I want to dissect it, and I want to give my thoughts on it obviously. And yeah, Kabam has been transparent, so I'm going to be transparent as well throughout this video. I'm going to be a bit unfiltered because why not? It's my channel, I can talk about whatever really. And so yeah, I guess before I get started here, a quick disclaimer. I wouldn't even say I want the best for the game, I kind of need the game to be at its best. And before you assume why, no, it's not for monetary reasons. I don't need it to be good so I can, make money, right? That's not why. The truth is a bit deeper, which I guess I'll talk about me as well, but, I mean, you could probably tell. You could probably tell that I struggle with depression, but I do, right? And this game is like it's like one of my main sources of positivity and happiness. That's why, even though I do struggle with it, my channel is very positive. It's like a very positive based channel. I hardly talk about bad stuff on this channel, and that's pretty much why I kind of use the channel as like a mask, and it does a very good job. I think I do a very good job of running a very positive channel. And so if the game is bad, if the game is not doing well, it's hard to be positive. It's hard to make the most out of something that is just not doing well. And so I kind of need the game to be good, and it's not for monetization reasons, none of that. It's just it's for my happiness really. I kind of have to have this game be at its best, or else things will look really, really dire for me. But let's talk about this article now. Enough about me, right? Who talks about themselves on their channel? Absolute lunatics, let me tell you. But let's talk about the dev diary. So Kabam admits that 2025 September of 2025 has been bad, and I completely agree. It's been an absolute clown fest. Really, it's been a bit rough, dude, I'll tell you what. And it was a lot of one step forward, two steps back type of stuff. It all started with the energy stuff. That was just terrible, and then they revert that, big wins, and then they go through with the Spider-Woman thing, and it's well, here we are back to just having not a great time in the battle realm. It was really, really bad. It was bad. I do not like when we go forward as a community, right, and then Kabam just pushes us back, and it's well, now we kind of have to be upset. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like if these changes happen separate times, it wouldn't have been as hostile, it would have been a much more chill situation. But the fact that these things happened back to back, it was just so bad. It was so frustrating, man, because we can only take so much before we just burst, right? That's how people are. That's how communities are as well. And so all those things happening back to back, we got hit with a wombo combo of just a total clown fiesta. It was really rough, but yes, they acknowledged that it was bad, right? And yeah, they went through the feedback. That's great. We all gave a ton of feedback. I definitely gave my fair share. Maybe not in public settings, but I did give my feedback. I'm not just one to sit there and take stuff, obviously. Which you probably noticed, because sometimes, look, my comment sections, I usually just let those things ride, but as of recently, I've had to throw my hat in there and yell at y'all, because man, y'all just think that I can take whatever. That's not the case. That's not the case at all, brother. Okay, well, let's keep talking. Okay, so what's the plan? Well, let's talk about the plan with Spider-Woman. This is the first big win of the document. So here's the big change. While her fumble is active, her opponent will not be able to evade. So here's the original, right? The original was the ensnare that reduced the ability accuracy, and on top of that, prevented evade. Very broken ability. It is one of the craziest abilities in this game. It's why Okoye is overtuned. That's my hot take, I guess, but I think she is overtuned as a character. And Spider-Woman had the same thing. She had the same thing, and it made her quite possibly the worst defender of 2025, because yeah, it was so bad. She failed ability accuracy reduction, man. She failed failure. That is like insane. Failing failure, it's crazy stuff. However, that evade counter was so good. It was so useful. I used it every single day. I used it because it's a good ability, and it's an ability that shouldn't have been taken away in the first place, right? There was so many ways to get rid of the BS with ensnare but keep the evade counter, and I don't know why, but throughout the entire balance process they just didn't want that to happen. And it's like, why, dude? Why do you want to take away something that people were like relying on? I was relying on her evade counter plenty of times, and I do understand like the sentiment of people saying that, hey, it's just not like a science ability to just block out evade, and I agree, it's not, but I think they could have definitely worked towards a solution of sorts, right? Like, for example, make it a 100% ability accuracy reduction to evade to match the science class, and instead we just had a dumpster fire, man. And now the solution is to put the evade counter inside the fumble, which I think is good. I'm happy that the evade counter is back. I was very upset when it got removed, right? And I just couldn't stand by the decision to remove it, right? It just did not make sense to me. I just do not think that. I don't think this is the character that you target for being too good when champions like a Koye exist, right? I just don't see it, man. I just don't see her countering evade being too good, because yeah, like, you took away the too good part of her with the ensnare removal, right? But that's because of the 30% BS. It's not because of the evade counter. The evade counter was just a chill guy. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just helping the community, and now they try to take it away, but now it's back. That's great. I'm happy about that. And yeah, they do say that, like, just because people yell doesn't mean that we're gonna listen and just, like, you know, not show any backbone. That's fair. I definitely get that. That's great to say. That's great to like point out that, hey, just because you don't like something doesn't mean that we're gonna just change it because y'all complain a ton. That's a good thing to make clear. But if we yell about something and Kabam's like, you know what, hey, that's actually a good point, then they will change it, and that's great. Like, that's the good part. But if we're just yelling about something that is kind of dumb, and then they're like, I don't know, I don't really think there's much merit to like what y'all are complaining about, then they won't change it, and that's like fair enough. But they do listen to like actually valid feedback, which is great, obviously. And let's talk about the adaptive event quest. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not the guy to even criticize this, because my roster, it's big, so no matter what happens to this event quest, I will not struggle with it. I understand that players do struggle with it because it is very roster dependent. You have to have like, what, 15 good characters of a class. Very, very big ask, obviously. And yeah, you pair that very, very big roster requirement with the fact that the health pools are just off the rocker. It was a really bad time. And they already made improvements to it. I did like the changes, and they're going to make even more improvements with the classic difficulty. They're going to reduce the health of defenders in classic difficulty even further. That's great. And eventually they did say that they were going to just remove that requirement for players to just like, no classic is necessary. I think they said that the target was at the start of 2026, which is fair enough. And yeah, like in the meantime, it's like, what, 30 minutes for classic. I'm not gonna complain too much. It's fine, but I am happy that that is coming soon. Okay, decision on Elders Marks and Battlegrounds. Let's talk about this. So this was a whole thing, man. I was like, it confused me, really. I was like, dang, they're really trying to cook the energy economy. And I'm gonna be real, if they went through with these changes, it would have worked. They would have thoroughly cooked the economy for energy, and it would have been so bad. I wouldn't say it'd be like the end of MCOC, but it was looking really, really rough, bro. But now it's looking interesting, because Elder's Marks, they are staying, but they are going to be the exclusive entry into competitive ranked battlegrounds. And for that reason, the conversion of Elder's Marks, it's all taken like a crazy spin. So previously it was 135 units equals 315 Elder's Marks, right? And now it's 120 units and refills is roughly 1600 Elder's Marks. And now you cannot purchase Elder's Marks for units, right? It's only via like refills and stuff that you can get Elder's Marks. And the conversion is, of course, 15 energy into 90s Elder's Marks. So basically, Elder's Marks, they are kind of just like the new main way of getting into Battlegrounds, like the only way actually. And it costs the same as like Battlegrounds currently does. I don't really think that like it's a positive. I think it's just like a, hey, this is just, it's just happening. I don't really see like a positive to this, really. It's just I don't know. I really don't know, man. I just have to talk about it, but I'm gonna wait and see, like, I'm gonna wait and see how this turns out. I'm gonna wait for it to like be live, and then I'll make a follow-up video, I guess. But like, so far it's kind of just, I feel like it's just extra steps for really nothing, I want to say. But then they hit us with this, right? So the reason they did the Elder's Marks thing is because Elder's Marks is for competitive battlegrounds only. And you think, right, like, hey, what do you mean? Isn't that the only battlegrounds? And then they're like, surprise, Unranked Battlegrounds matches will be launching alongside Season 34. So it's 5 energy per round. It's pretty much like off-season Battlegrounds, but just all the time. And you match with your opponent based on the size of your roster, so it's very fair matchups. That's very, very cool. It's a great way to get people involved in Battlegrounds without having to stress out about like being severely outmatched, because it is matchmaking based off of roster size instead of points in the Battlegrounds leaderboard. So yeah, it sounds exciting for like a ton of players, like players that are sick of getting out rostered in Battlegrounds. It should be a really good time for them. But yeah, now it's just like changes to prevent future missteps, like enhanced internal review. That's good. Should have, I mean, I don't want to be mean and be like, hey, this should have always been the case, but I'm happy it's here now, you know? I'm happy it's here now. I'm happy that these steps are going to be taken to ensure the quality control of this game, because yeah, the quality of this game has dipped in the month of September, and they have to build themselves back up now. Like that if I'm Kabam, that's how I feel, right? I feel like I wouldn't say rock bottom, but I would say I'm very dang near it, right? And so I have to build myself back up. I have to be better. And so for that reason, they're going to just, yeah, they have to enhance everything, really. They really have to enhance everything. But looking ahead, yeah, September was not their best month. I would say it was the worst month of the year, for sure. And they do make a good point, right? Like, some issues weren't fully their fault. It was just, like, bad luck. Just, like, really terrible luck some points. Like services we depend on going offline. The Sword and Stone thingy, that was crazy. Because the milestones were great. Having front-loaded rewards was insanely good, a 10 out of 10 change. And then, I don't even know how to say the company's name, but they just completely pooped the bed, and they just go and ruin everything for what was looking to be a very positive moment of September. And so because of that, the whole thing just fell flat, and it was just not a fun time at all. And like, that was just bad luck. But then there were other times where it was just fully on Kabam, and they admit that, and that's good to admit that, because you can't be given excuses all the time. You just have to sometimes admit that you were wrong, and that you just didn't do the right thing, and that you will do better, and that's good. That's good. But yeah, they have a lot of surprises and updates that they want to share with us, especially on the live stream. Should be really cool. And then Summoners Fest as well. plenty of stuff to talk about there, I'm assuming, because it's an exclusive event. They should have like a ton of stuff ready to share with us. Should be really, really cool stuff. And yeah, they say that we don't want our players to feel frustrated or like their time, money, and feelings aren't valued. That's always great, because sometimes you think like, hey, are these guys really just suits looking for our money and that's it, and like not really caring about how we feel? But it does feel like they do really care about how we feel, right? I don't think it's just suits controlling this game that just want our money and don't care how we feel. If that was the case, I don't think we'd have this article to read through. But hey, I think they do. It'd be silly to be like they don't want the best for this game, because if that just doesn't make any sense, right? Of course they want the best for this game. This is a lot of people that work at Kabam, this is their life, right? Like, this is what they put all their energy and effort into, and to see it like completely fall flat in September, I think that I really hope that we're gonna deal with a company that just has like a fire burned within them, that like are so motivated to just make the game as good as they can. And I want to see that. I want to push this company towards doing that, towards being better, because frankly, a month like this just cannot happen again, right? Mistakes can happen again for sure. That's fine. Like, it all happens. I make mistakes plenty of times, but so many mistakes back to back, that just cannot happen again, or else it really might be rock bottom for this company. But yeah, they said they aren't proud of the product they put out in the field in the past few months. I sure bet, brother. I sure bet. We apologize for this, and we're going to take steps to ensure we get back on track. That's good. This is like look, I'm gonna be real. October is like the biggest rebound month they've probably ever had, so they really have to lock in. It's like Cam Ward said. He called the tight ends buns, and they have to lock in. Right now, Kabam is Cam Ward. They admit that they're buns. They gotta lock in, and we'll see how they do. And yeah, I think that is it with this document. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of people that I will like definitely understand if people still aren't sold, right? Because it's a lot of talk, but some people just want to see actions, right? They don't want to see promises, they want to see things actually done. That's fair. I honestly would understand, given just how many mistakes there were and like how many times they've not delivered, that like this document just didn't do anything for you really, because it's one thing to say something, it's a whole different thing to actually do it. So if you're one of those people, you just want to wait until like these changes actually happen, until these promises are like actually kept, that's fair. I'm a very optimistic person, so when I see something, I see promises being made, I already get excited and I get happy, because that just, it's a sign, right? It's a sign that they want to do better, and that's great. But there's a lot of big tests coming up for this company, man. We're going to have to see how October does, just in general, not just like any specific thing, just like in general. Is the game smooth? Are things running smoothly? Are decisions being made that are well done? I don't know. And then there's the real big question of balancing, and like, how does the future of balancing look, really? Will we see champions get properly adjusted? Will we see Kabam kind of lose their backbone and just make any change that the people want? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if they can. We'll have to see just like how balancing turns out. I forget who's next up on the list. Is it Yelena and I don't even remember. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm a very optimistic person, so I just want to see these changes go through, and then I'll be very, very happy. But until then, I'm just cautiously optimistic, but we'll have to see how things play out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these changes. My comment section is it's a canvas for anyone that wants to like say their thoughts, speak their minds. Go ahead. I'll be reading everything. I always read stuff, but if I have to bite back at you, I will. But yeah, that's about it for me.